Yo, 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 yo. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Max and Juan cast. Max, how you doing tonight, my brother?
I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
Doing good. Starting off a little slow. Forgot to put my backlight in the background. I'm feeling good, man. Wednesday night, doing the pick'ems, week 3. Very excited. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, comment down below. Any thoughts, opinions that you guys have. Welcome to the show, man. If you guys are new to the channel, we do pick'ems like this. We do podcasts. We do MJC originals. Do a little film work here and there. Max likes to do little voiceovers with talking about certain plays, like Devin Booker a couple years back.
Dang, you got to bring those back, low key.
Low key, if you want Max of 7 minutes of just him calling Devin Booker the biggest pussy in the world, go ahead and check out that video.
Is.
But let's get right into it, man. There's no other place to start than the Pick'ems record. All right, I gotta call you out on it, dog. So last week,
slight 3-game. This is a slight 3-game. It's just nothing light. Don't let the house.
4 games.
Start,
it's 4 games. It's 4 games. 9-7 last
3?
week. 9-7 last week. You went 7-9, unless the doc was wrong. Was the doc wrong?
I went 9-7. Yeah, you went 10-6.
Oh, okay. So I got another win. So don't mind the graphic. All you need to know, people, is that I'm up. I'm up. I'm off to a strong start today. Or this year, should I say. And I'm hyped, bro. I'm hyped. I'm beating Max in the pick'ems. Max, what do you got to say about that? What do you got to say for yourself?
I'm a 2-time defending champion. Don't let 2 weeks slow me down. Don't let 2 weeks.
He'll
take a bath. He'll take a bath, guys. He's a proven commodity. So am I. Unfortunately, there's not going to be a lot of disparity this week. Unfortunately, Juan. I just have an idea. I have a feeling.
All right, let's start.
It's not a great cast of games. Let's say that.
It's not, but it's little sneakers up in there. Let's start off with Thursday Night Football. Okay, New York Giants going to San Francisco. Man, quick turnaround for both.
That's a bad Thursday turnaround, man.
I feel like this will be a lot more interesting if, number one, the Giants had Saquon Barkley, and number two, if the Giants didn't win last Sunday, because they'll be looking down the barrel of 0-3, but that's not the case. Huge underdogs in this one, regardless, 10.5 points. Max, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I just don't see how the Giants get it done. They, for 6 quarters or 7 quarters of football, they look like one of the worst teams in the NFL. They are playing the Arizona Cardinals, who are arguably the worst team in football. San Francisco's on a roll. They're 2-0, and the Rams played them tough, but Sean McVay kind of gets Kyle Shanahan, and it's a tough divisional game. But there's nothing in my mind that would have me pick against the San Francisco 49ers. It would be my lock of the week if it wasn't for another game. I'm that confident. I think they'll cover the spread. I think they're going to destroy them. I don't think the Giants' defense is going to be able to slow down San Francisco's offense. And they definitely can't. If they couldn't block Dallas, they're not going to be able to block San Fran.
Yeah, I said this last show with the recap. Look, San Francisco is just so dynamic, man, and especially when they have their big three. That's the way I see it with them. When they have their big three with Debo, George Kittle, and Christian McCaffrey, they're unstoppable at times. And the one hope that the Giants could have is, Max, I don't know if you could recall, but when are we going to have a bad Brock Purdy game? I'm talking like legitimately bad. It's yet to happen. So maybe they have that
NFC Championship game. But
he got hurt though.
No, he got hurt. I don't know. I don't think this is going to be the team that exposes him. Wink Martindale does some really interesting things, but it's just such that run game really puts you in a bind where then the pass looks are really good. You have to have a special defense. Maybe I'm thinking you got to be stout. You can play the run with 4 or 5. That'll be the type of way to expose Brock Purdy, but it's not happening this week, man. It's not going to happen unless you're just drinking before the game. and stuff like that. He's the San Francisco 49ers, man. I'm picking a blowout, 35-10.
35-10. Max, I'm going to go with 30-17. Blowout as well, man. Just not a good matchup for
It's
the
a
New York
tough schedule,
Giants.
I think, for the Giants. It's really tough with the schedule. First of all, you're flying across the country, 3 hours. It's gonna be a 3 hour time difference.
Yeah.
Thursday night football, short week. I would imagine they would have just stayed on the West Coast, right? They would have
Yeah.
just stayed they played in Arizona, so yeah, just a tough little stretch right here.
Right. All right, let's move on to Sunday morning football. Let's go to Seattle, where they're taking on the Carolina Panthers. Look, man, the Panthers looked just not that good on Monday Night Football against the Saints. Seattle, on the other hand, they looked really good. Stella got their groove back with them. DK got involved. Tyler Lockett looked pretty good. Kenny Walker had a bounce back game with them. Their defense still an issue, but I'm hoping that was the Detroit Lions they went up against, so maybe they get a pass. But Max, what do you think about this one?
I'm concerned one about the Seattle defense. Bryce Young, he's had moments. He had that really great scramble, juked the guy out of his shoes. But overall, Bryce Young has had a rough go of things, thrown some really bad interceptions, made some dumb decisions. And hey, that's par for the course when you're a rookie. Your number one receivers, Adam Thielen, who's a little bit washed. You have Jonathan Mingo, who's young. They don't have a good running back. They have Miles Sanders. They have guys who are average everywhere on offense. The O-line plays not great one. I think this game could definitely be interesting because of Seattle's defense. I don't think it's good at all. But I have a hard time thinking Bryce Young is going to carry them against Seattle in Seattle, Sunday morning. Like the DJ Cal will say, Sunday morning. Big injury, 2 big injuries for the defense already. I think J.C. Horn's out for a long time, and Shaq Thompson suffered a horrific injury. He's out the year. So it's going to be tough sledding for Carolina. Very tough sledding.
Yeah, I'm going Seattle all the way. Run game.
Yeah.
I was way off on the Carolina Panthers. I still think they have a really good defense, and I do trust in Bryce Young. But would you predict it, Max, that the whole NFC South is undefeated except for the Carolina Panthers? Bucks undefeated.
No, that's surprising, but I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised they're 0-2. I'm surprised everyone else is 2-0.
Yeah, the offensive line is pretty bad. I think that's what did it in for them. But what's your score for this one, Max?
27-21. Seattle wins. Close game because I think they'll be able to produce some points on Seattle's defense.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with 34-17 with Seattle as well winning. Okay, let's move on to Baltimore taking on the Indianapolis Colts. Now, this line is a little bit, sneaky because Anthony Richardson is in concussion protocol. It's 8.5 points, but we've seen some pretty good things from the Colts the last 2 weeks with Minshew and Richardson. But at the end of the day, the Ravens are 2-0. What do you think about this one, Max?
Well, I think the loss of Anthony Richardson, while it kind of limits the ceiling, it also raises the floor for this team because Gardner Minshew, he's a guy who's been in the NFL. He's had success. He was good on the Eagles as a backup. He was good in Jacksonville. So he raises the floor a little bit. Do I think that's enough to take a bite out of Baltimore? No, I don't. Baltimore's big people up front on defense and offense. I think they're going to be able to move the ball. Lamar, look for him to get on track because this Colts secondary is nothing special. Hey, the Colts have had 2 tight games, so they've been good. I don't think they're going to rush Anthony Richardson back. There's no need to. You don't want to. Ryan Kelly, same thing. He's in concussion protocol. You lose your starting quarterback, starting center. That's not fun. Baltimore's going to win this game, 28-7. I think it's a blowout. Regardless of who plays QB.
Yeah. Look, I got some faith in the Colts here. The Colts are an interesting team because Anthony Richardson, if he plays, I do believe that they're really dynamic and they're doing some special things in the run game to include him. There were some plays last week where he was doing some great things like the first like quarter of that game before he got hurt. And the designs by Steichen excites me, and we haven't really seen much from the Ravens as far as giving me confidence like they're an elite team. To me, I look at it like this. Week 1, it was Houston. Week 2, struggling Bengals team with Joe Burrow. Okay? So there is that to consider here. But I'm with you with the questionability with Anthony Richardson playing. I got to go with the fucking Baltimore Ravens, man. What's your score?
28-7-1. It's a blowout.
28-7. Sorry, struggling getting these graphics in. I got 27-19 Baltimore Ravens. Okay, let's move on to Cleveland. They're facing off the Tennessee Titans, hosting them in Cleveland. Weird game. I feel like this is going to be a game that possibly goes into overtime, and it's possibly going to be 9-9 at the end of it. That's what I think about these two teams. But Max, what do you think?
You know what? I'm not excited for this game at all. I think the Titans, especially with the injury to Nick Chubb, which was gruesome, speedy wishes for a recovery. I don't think the Browns are going to do much this week. I think they're going to be reeling. I know Kareem Hunt's back in the building. I have a hard time thinking they're going to be able to do much on offense because their offense can be piss poor at times. Titans, underrated team. They're 1-1. Who did they lose to last week? They lost to...
No, the Titans won. They beat the Chargers.
Oh, who they lose to week 1? I'm sorry. They lost to
the Saints.
The Saints, and that's a really good team. So,
yeah.
You know what? I'm not looking forward to this one. I think the Browns are going to get waxed. I'm going 24-7 final score.
Okay.
I really don't think it'll be close. Nick Chubb's there, changes it a little bit. Deshaun Watson, too. Got to have a talk about him next Sunday if he's piss poor again.
Yeah.
He misses so many throws now. So many.
Look, I like the Tennessee Titans team, man. They're super underrated. I felt like it was a big deal to get that win last week. DeAndre Hopkins had some big plays. And a guy to watch for, guys. And if you're a fantasy owner out there, keep an eye on this too. Tajay Spears. I got to keep on bringing up this guy's name. He's a rookie out of Tulane. My number 3 running back coming out of the draft. I think every single week now, it seems like he makes a big play in the game. And if Derrick Henry goes down, because we know how easily he goes down now with his age and the play style he runs with, don't be surprised if Tajay Spears goes in there and becomes a big factor for the Tennessee Titans. I'm going to go with the Titans as well, though. I'm going to go with the score of 20-17. Close one. And then you said 24-7, right, Max?
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
Let's go ahead and go to Denver, man. Denver at Miami.
Oh, God. Poor Denver. You really had a chance to be 1-1.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think about this one, Max?
Rewritten all over it. I don't know I think they'll play a little bit hard because, they know their season's kind of on the line. I think Dolphins are too talented. They're just too talented. I mean, you could maybe say, hey, Jalen Waddle gets concussed. He might not play, whatever. But I think they'll be able to run the ball. Does the Broncos coaching / offense scare anybody? No. I think it'll be kind of tight, and the Broncos are going to end up choking this one away. I got the Dolphins one. It's really not like you have to pick them. I don't see how you could pick against the Dolphins here. Like, you're literally betting on them to shit the bed.
Yeah. Look, let's have this conversation. Russell Wilson, how long does this last? They have an $8 million quarterback on the bench in Jarrett Stidham, who showed a little something last year with the Raiders in those last 2 games of the year. Is there a possibility?
I don't see why we would just say the team. So you're saying the problem is Russ still? Like, he is just beyond craft? Where we're going?
If they go 0-3 and he throws 2
picks, it's on him, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're saying it's him. Like, even if he goes out there and is just diming shit up.
I would say last game, it was him. He started the avalanche with that fumble last week, and he just fucking stared at the ball like a dummy, looking like Cam Newton in the Super Bowl. Like, that kind of shit is unacceptable, bro. Like, I'm not even talking about, like, fumbling already, that's bad. But the way that you just look at the fucking ball and don't even attempt to get it, what does that tell you? Looking at it from a teammate's perspective. Like, what the fuck, bro? And with all the talk from last year, with him being weird with teammates, dancing on the plane, that kind of shit that I see on the field just confirms it even more that, like, teammates are not bought in on this guy. And like I said from the get-go, I don't think Sean Payton's bought in on this guy. So they go 0-3. He throws 2 interceptions. Not saying it's all on him. But at some point, what is the first thing to change, Max? In a situation like this, it's quarterback.
Yeah, I agree. I get what you're saying. I just don't want to. I don't want to play the game of, oh, if he throws 2 interceptions. I mean, I just think this Denver team, and I was someone who was high on them. Like, their defense is really just not the dominant force it was. Like, hey, they scored 21 points probably last year. That gets it done for them. As opposed to this year, they just can't seem to stop the bleeding no matter what they do. Yeah. They gave up. How many points were scored the week 1? Like 17?
Yeah.
That's against a Raider team that's not a great offense in itself. No shots at you, but I'm just not impressed with this Denver team at all.
Your boy Marvin Mims?
Yeah, I was gonna say my boy Marvin Mims. I'm really hyped for. I really had him. You gave me a lot of shit for putting him in there. I like what I've seen so far.
And just to talk on Miami, because I watched a lot of film on Miami this last week. I've been doing some stuff on Christian Gonzalez, just watching him closely. How amazing is it that Mike McDaniels lines up Tyreek Hill as a fucking tight end almost every single play?
That's what I said last week.
Yeah.
I said last week, I'm like, this is unbelievable. And they get him running, and then they do these RPOs. Like, I've been impressed with Tua so far. I'm not going to, like, throw him into my top 5 or top 10. He's still looking out. But Mike McDaniel, you got to give him credit for just putting Tua in a position of success. He just makes it easy for him.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we have 2 really great receivers. Let me use them correctly.
Yeah. That's
what you like to see as a fan of your coach. You want to see your coach putting in good positions, not shitty ones.
Exactly. But me and Max are both going Miami in this one. 30-20 for me, 31-21 for Max. Okay, let's move on. New York Jets hosting the New England Patriots. The New England
Patriots fan, you're feeling good right now. You're like, thank God. Hey, this is like the opposite of the Giants. It's like, oh, we got just what we needed.
14 in a row for the New England Patriots. 14 in a row, Max. I don't think they.
I'm going to tell you, it's going to be 15. It's going to be 15. It'll be 15.
Well, you weren't trying to give shit to Zach Wilson last week.
No, it's not just like, let's just not put it all on him. It was a close game.
Right.
Like, until they had to start passing every fucking play. And I think I made a valid argument. Like, hey, it wasn't that great in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers when he's getting hit, when guys aren't getting open, when he has to just throw the ball in 22 seconds. And it's not like he shit the bed against Arizona. Dallas' defense is absurd right now. Absurd.
Yeah.
And we're just going to crucify this kid. Hey, this week, guess what, man? They're probably going to get smashed up again on the O-line side of things. They cannot block shit. They're going to not be able to run the ball. They're not going to be able to pass the ball. And they'll just give up enough points. Hey, the defense gave up a good amount of points last week. Even without that, there was a couple touchdown drives. So I'm just saying, it's not like this Jets team was the fucking Tampa Bay Buccaneers and then Brady started shitting the bed or something. It's not like it was that. It was a team on the up and up. There's still a lot of talent, but it's far from this thing that's like, wow, oh my God.
Yeah.
How could they be bad?
And
you don't think Aaron Rodgers would be getting hit like crazy?
Yeah. And to be fair,
say, throw the ball fast. Throw the ball fast.
To be fair,
it doesn't work like that.
To be fair to Zach Wilson, Max, 2 of those picks came way late in the game. Like,
that's
way
what I'm saying.
late.
All 3 of them came in the fucking fourth quarter.
Yeah. And not to mention the fucking lunatic Mike Parsons that he was dealing with all game. But on the
did you see the stunt he did? Did you
yeah,
see that play?
Yeah. When we talk about the
Aaron
Cowboys,
Rodgers might not have played the rest of the fucking year if he got hit like that. It's just crazy how bad they are up front.
I have a clip of Micah doing that in the highlights that I have for the Cowboys when we talk about them. But on the Patriots side, if they lose this one, like let's just say
done.
Man, that's a really bad look. Like we've always said, like Zach Wilson is never gonna embarrass Bill Belichick, but if they come out and they get beat by the Jets, like to me, it's
any
panic
other coach
time.
would be on the hot seat, but when you're an icon, you're not on it.
Exactly.
Truthfully.
Yeah, and I want to speak a little bit about Christian Gonzalez. 2 weeks in a row, he's had very impressive weeks. Devontae Smith, week 1, / AJ Brown. And then week 2 for last week, Tyreek Hill. And been watching the kid closely, did some film study, and he looks the fucking part, man. He plays off coverage, plays press coverage, zone coverage, man coverage, really everything. Really everything. Run. Yeah. And he's so acrobatic, man. I'm very interested to see how better he gets throughout the season. Cause it's kind of reminded me of Sauce of last year, where like Sauce just came out the gates like, I'm a lockdown corner and I'm gonna be an all-pro this year.
Nah, I won't say that.
I want to stop. You a hater on Sauce, but came out the gates all-pro as a rookie. Exciting to see if we can get that 2 years in a row with Christian Gonzalez if he keeps on playing the way that he's playing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's a stud. I had him number 1. You had him number 2.
Yeah. And honestly, yeah, but come on, Max. We even said it in there. 1A, 1B. We both like.
No. Fuck
Stop.
you. No,
you said 1A, 1B.
No,
1A,
I don't like
1B.
That much. No. Stop it.
Asshole. You had him number 2.
I didn't like him. I didn't say he was 1. Come on.
Come on. You gotta pick one. You gotta pick one.
I picked him.
Yeah, you picked him, but I had him at 2. It's like you love always. It's like you. This is your fucking line right here. Oh yeah, I thought he was bad. I put him at 2, asshole. That's what you're doing to me.
You did.
That's what you're doing to me right now.
I love it.
Eat your fucking words.
Get used to it.
All right, let's show the score for that one. You have 28-10 Patriots. I have 23-17 Patriots. Okay, Patriots all the way. Get their first dub this Sunday. Okay, let's move on. Buffalo and Washington. Washington, man, we got to have a conversation about this because Eric Bieniemy is lighting it up for the Washington Commanders right now. And I'm curious to see what your thoughts are about them.
I really like what I've seen. I mean, I don't like it because I don't want them to succeed, but as an impartial observer, they're looking really good. That D-line kind of gives them a chance in any game. Jonathan Allen, Daron Payne, Josh Sweat, Montez Sweat. Sorry, Josh Sweat. Chase Young, Montez Sweat. And they got a couple guys hurt. That linebacker they took a couple years ago, what was Jamin Davis, looks good. Look, man, they're a feisty bunch, man. Ron Rivera deserves a little more credit. There was a little like weird stuff coming out. The new ownership, the new stink on the team, new car smell. I'm worried about Buffalo. I don't think it'll be a walk in the park like years past because that D-line can wreak havoc. And Sam Howell looks really good. Pretty freaking good.
Yeah, this team, it has so much talent, Max. I think it's one of the most underrated teams as far as talent-wise. Because, yeah, you look at Sam Howell and you can have your doubts about him. I don't blame anyone who does. But Terry McLaurin, stud. Jahan Dotson.
Logan Thomas, really good.
Yeah, Brian Robinson, a guy that you liked coming out of the draft, who's really starting to blossom and pick out a legitimate role with the Commanders. And their offensive line, pretty fucking steady, man. Like, they just have a bunch of pieces where you're looking at them and they're like, can they be maybe last year's Giants and shock the world and make the playoffs and maybe even win a playoff game. Like, if I'm Dallas, am I looking at them like, do I want to play the Commanders this year? If I'm the Eagles, it's like, do I want to play the Commanders this year in the playoffs? That's something to look at with this team, man. Because Eric Bieniemy, he's done something. He's done something with this team.
Yeah, and he had a lot of hate coming at him for a long time.
Part of it was asshole LaShawn McCoy talking out of his ass because he was old as fuck and he didn't carve out a role for him. That was part of it. Because don't you remember when LaShawn came out and was like,
because he wouldn't hold the ball tight.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, you were at the end of your career. Like, you probably fucking deserved that shit. Like, they had better options than you. So
yeah, I would go with that.
And you look on the Chiefs side, you can argue right now with the 2 weeks that we've watched, you can argue like Eric Bieniemy is missed in Kansas City. Because
you could definitely say that, yeah.
Yeah, because they're not
putting up points.
They're not using guys like they were last year. Like Pacheco, where's Pacheco been? Where's Jerick McKinnon been? Those guys were huge playmakers for them down the stretch. And it's like we're seeing that right now with the Commanders. Like Brian Robinson is catching balls out of the backfield and making plays in space. That looks like the Chiefs of last year. And the one thing is Sam Howell. I understand that. What are your thoughts on Sam Howell? Because you know how I feel. I love them coming out of the draft. So
yeah, I don't think I didn't have him in there. I remember, and there was stuff to like, but they came from such a dumb offense. Mac Brown, UNC, but dude, he's really proven like he's basically been the best case of what you thought. Like he looked like. I think we were split on him because 2 years before, like his film, the year we watched, like he got drafted was not good. The year before that was like, wow, this guy's really freaking good.
Yeah.
So we kind of had to decipher like which film was him. I took the side of no, not really. You took the side of yeah, like it's just a bad year. He lost to Dynami Brown, like right. 4 other guys.
Yeah.
But man, this kid is good. I think he's there to stay. I think they have their guy.
He has balls.
You don't know if he'll be a star, but going next year, be like, oh, Sam Howell's our guy for sure.
Yeah. And let's move on to the Buffalo side. Look, they kicked the shit out of the Raiders last week. They looked phenomenal. Josh Allen, Stella got his groove back. No interceptions last week. Key stat. Look, they got something going on with James Cook. I like what I've seen from James Cook. But I'm still kind of concerned about that second playmaker. Like, Gabe Davis is still not the guy.
A year fucking later, huh?
A year later, I know. But you convinced me like halfway throughout the year. I was singing that tune of hey, Gabe Davis, he should be the guy. I was believing the Buffalo hype. And you're like, dude, they don't have a second playmaker. It's a fucking issue. They don't have one.
Yeah.
And
Dalton Kincaid's far away from being that guy.
To me, Kincaid is going to have some good moments, but I feel like at the end of the day, he's not going to make a huge impact this year. I see him making a larger impact in years to come.
And what I want to just classify something, I think Dawson Knox is really good, but he's not the type of guy, and neither Stephon Diggs. They have nobody. You're like, oh shit, we have to make sure we cover that guy at all times. Right. That guy could really torch us. They need a playmaker on the outside. It's not Kincaid. It's not Knox. They're both good, but Gabe Davis is he's just so hit or miss, hot and cold, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah. And
I don't like it. I think they need to probably find a way to upgrade that. Like, I don't think DeAndre Hopkins would have been a big boon for them. Mm-hmm. But as of right now, they could have taken a guy like Zay Flowers and be like, oh, wow, that guy's scary. That guy's really scary. Could have taken someone else like who else was there? I'm trying to think. Who got
Addison.
Really quick after.
Addison.
Yeah, Jordan Addison, who's not my favorite cup of tea, but he's still good.
Yeah.
But Buffalo, you need a second playmaker. The O-line's shaky one. I think the Josh Allen might be forced into some mistakes by this D-line. That being said, I think I will pick Buffalo to win 21-18, but it'll be a hard-fought, scratch-and-claw type game.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard imagining the Commanders going 3-0, man, honestly. I got a close one, too, 28-20, one-possession game. But for me, the Bills are always going to have that trump card, Max, where we have Josh Allen, one of the best players in the league, and he can be the difference for us. And I don't know how that's going to fare for Buffalo moving on in big playoff games because we've seen the result of that. But for a game like this against the Commanders, I'm betting on that. But something to watch out for with the Commanders, if they go 3-0, you got to take them seriously. Because the recipe to win this game, Max, what did you just say? Offensive line kind of shaky for the Buffalo Bills. This can be potential of Chase Young come out party and that defensive line whooping a whole lot of ass in this ball game. That's the recipe, straight up.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree on 100%. And Buffalo's defense isn't something you're like, oh shit, they can really make a lot of plays. Not really about that.
Yeah. Let's move on to Atlanta and Detroit. Kind of under the radar, pretty good game. 3.5 points. Detroit is favored. What do we think of this one, man? Bijan Robinson has arrived.
Absolutely. That's for damn sure one. Like, this is going to be a very offensive game. 45, take the over. I don't think Detroit and Atlanta are really going to stop each other that much. I think Detroit has a really good O-line. Atlanta has a subpar D-line. Good corners. Amon St. Brown is banged up. C.J. Gardner-Johnson's out. But that being said, I think it's going to be fireworks. It's going to be who might have the ball last. If they can get a turnover or two on Ritter. Jared Goff's been pretty good. I know last week he threw a pick six, but he has been pretty good about limiting mistakes. Jamar Gibbs versus Bijan. Maybe get Jamar Gibbs fired up. David Montgomery's going to be banged up. I'm picking the Lions to win this one in a close 30-27 game shootout. It's in Detroit. Atlanta's feeling too good about themselves, 2-0. Let's send them back down to earth.
Look, man. Atlanta is such a weird team because it's hard to get on board the way that they win. They win so ugly. They run the shit out of the ball. They look like a 60s fucking team out there. Desmond Ritter just does enough to win the game. And their defense makes just enough plays for them to win. Like, people kind of forget about Atlanta as far as their defense goes. Grady Jarrett is still an elite-ass player. Like, they still have him. And then adding Jesse Bates under the table, Max, that's been one of the best free agent signings so far.
He's a stud.
Yeah. He's came in and he's made immediate impact. And Detroit's defense is kind of suspect, dog. Kind of suspect in this one. The whole thing with Atlanta, could they go 3-0? It's going to be big if they can. I know Max has the Lions taking this one. I got the Falcons, man. I got a 3-0 start for them, 26-24, a close game. I cannot trust that Detroit Lions defense. I just don't. I like Aiden Hutchinson, but that's about it, man. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, other news on that, out for the season with his trash talking ass. All right. Fucking Seahawks were wearing the ski mask in the fucking locker room after the game last week. And he's out with a torn pec or whatever he has. So another loss for them. And key one in this one, let's see if Kyle Pitts and Drake London can do some stuff. Because this is a game where they can eat. They have to be able to eat. Weak linebackers and weak corners. They have to fucking eat in this one, man. So
I agree, 100%.
I'm rolling with the Falcons, man. Can't trust Jared Goff. My boy threw a pick six. I think he's gonna turn into old Goff. All right, even though we haven't seen it in in a season and a half, it seems like. Let's go to New Orleans and Green Bay. Okay, this pretty good game. It's not Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers, but we got Jordan Love against Derek Carr.
Yeah, that's like the budget version of that. What do you think, Juan? Tell me what you're thinking about this game first, so then I can wait.
Look, I like Green Bay in this one, man. I got to tell you the truth. And the Saints have looked fine. Their defense looks good. The offense has its moments. They seem key on getting Michael Thomas involved to the fullest. They're trying to get him back on track. But something about this Green Bay Packers team is exciting me, man. I love Jordan Love. I know I said that kind of weird, but excited about him. Hopefully they can get Aaron Jones back, because I do feel like he was a big factor in the first week. And they were a Bijan Robinson run away from winning that game last week. It was a great play by him. The Falcons won it. But don't count out the Packers, man. Don't count out the Packers. Their defense is still legit. I like Rashawn Gary and Jair Alexander on that defense. I got Packers, man. I don't feel like the Saints are going to have enough. And if the Saints wind up winning this one, I'm going to be impressed. I'm going to be very impressed, because it's going to take Derek Carr winning this game for them. I don't think they're going to be able to lean on their defense like they have been the last 2 weeks.
One, what I'm worried about for the Packers, and I'm also going to pick them, I'm worried about Christian Watson. I'm worried about Aaron Jones. They need both those guys. First of all, Christian Watson could be a game changer for the Packers.
Yeah.
Just with his speed, his size. Aaron Jones, underrated as hell. I love A.J. Dillon to death, but he lacks a dynamic playmaking. Like, when was the last time you saw him make a big play ever? Tell me. I mean, I love the guy. I just don't think it's in his nature. He's a grinded out guy. I'm going to pick the Packers to win a close one, 17-16. I think Derek Carr, when he kind of plays outside, it's cool. It's like a little hot. It's not like ideal conditions. Derek Carr like playing in the dome.
He does.
And that pass rush can get after.
Yeah. And we'll see what happens with the whole running back situation for the Saints. Jamal Williams has a hammy. So they got one more week to go.
Suspended.
Yeah, they got one more week to go for AK to come back. But this is going to be an interesting one. It's going to tell a lot about the New Orleans Saints, because everyone thought coming into this one, they looked at the schedule for the Saints. They're like, oh my God, Bryce Young, Monday Night Football, rookie quarterback. Week 1, they got Ryan Tannehill. Then they got Jordan Love. No one knew that Jordan Love was going to hit the scene this year, starting off the season. And here you go. Jordan Love is here to stay, and he's going to seem like a problem. So he's not no cakewalk that you can go into. So interesting way this game is going to turn out. Let's go ahead and show the scores for us, Max. I got 26-24 Packers by a close one. Same thing for you. You got 17-16. Going to be an exciting one, man. Let's move on to the AFC South. Jaguars, Houston Texans. Giving the Texans some love. I would think that they will be a double-digit underdog. Almost there, 9.5 points. Max, what do you think?
They don't have enough to beat this Jacksonville team. Jacksonville's coming off a loss to Kansas City. They're going to want to kind of establish a hold on the division. Houston, the only reason to watch this game is if you want to just see C.J. Stroud and see what he's about. 30-20, they're going to cover. They're not there yet. Wait 1 year for Houston. 1 year. I would be impressed if they could just keep it close.
Yeah. I like what I've seen last week, at least, for C.J. Stroud. I went back and watched the game. Throwing it a shit ton of times.
He was getting hit a lot, right?
He was getting hit a lot. And watch out for Tank Dell. Tank Dell out of Houston, little munchkin, got involved in the offense a lot more last week. Potentially can be a game breaker for them. But Jacksonville, man, they're coming off of that loss against KC. They're loaded. I think Calvin Ridley's going to get back on track. Captain Kirk with Christian Kirk at wide receiver. Trevor Lawrence had a bad game last week. He's looking to bounce back. ETN, the list goes on. And what does Houston struggle with? Like you just said, offensive line. They got Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker. So
it's gonna be bad, I think.
Jags all the way. 30-16. You got 30-20. Okay, this is potentially the game of the week. I feel like this has the most meaning to it because we got two playoff teams right here. Chargers.
Loser goes home.
Yeah, loser goes home. Chargers and Vikings. This one's in Minnesota. Chargers 0-2, Vikings 0-2. let's break this one down, man. Are you gonna wind
Who's
up?
gonna ruin this game last for themselves? Like who's gonna shoot themselves in the foot? Like who's gonna fumble for Minnesota? And I will say this: they just traded for Cam Akers.
Yeah.
That's not gonna fix their inability to run the ball.
Yeah.
I don't believe so. I truly think that this game is gonna be sloppy. It's gonna be turnover galore. The one thing, if you're Minnesota, you're thinking, "Wow, the Chargers can't stop shit." Oh, Justin Jefferson, he'll get 250 yards. Hey, this Viking defense can't really stop anybody either. They literally got the ball ran down their throat by Philly, and I know the Chargers aren't that type of team like Philly, but I think if Eckler plays this game, I'm leaning towards the Chargers. I'm leaning towards the Chargers regardless. Like I hate to just pick them. I just think the wheels are going to fall off for Minnesota.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a close one, a very close one. Very close.
Look, I want to pick Minnesota, but I just think they're fraudulent, man. It's showing from last year that they are.
Oh, they didn't win every one-score game ever? Yeah.
Exactly.
What did you know?
Yeah, exactly. And it's Justin Jefferson or bust with them. And Kirk Cousins has been playing good, but it's apparent, bro. Like, they're missing Dalvin Cook. They're missing Dalvin Cook a lot. Alexander Madison's not the answer. It's a reason why they signed Cam Akers. But the Chargers got some stuff going on. No Eckler. The Brandon Staley thing. When are they going to make a mistake? They have Keenan Allen out here carrying the fucking load on offense. Their defense is suspect. It's hard. It's really hard to put your faith into the Chargers, man. Because for them to win this game, what did Philly did last week? What did they do, Max? They ran the ball down the Vikings' throat. Or do we have faith that Joshua Kelly can do that against this Minnesota Vikings defense?
Oh, can this offensive line create the holes and space for them? I would say no, they probably can't. No.
Yeah. So we're basically betting on Herbert. We're betting on Herbert to beat out Kirk Cousins and the Chargers just being way too talented to go 0-3. That was my thinking.
I just think they're going to, the Chargers, they haven't turned the ball over yet, which I really like. They've just had dumb penalties. I think they're going to win this game. Like I said, it's going to be 21-20, maybe a late field goal, maybe a late dumb penalty by the Vikings or a turnover. I'm going 21-20 Chargers, over the Vikes.
Yeah, I'm going the Chargers as well. Close one here, though. Okay, let's go Dallas, Arizona. Arizona, man.
Dallas, 50-20.
Yeah.
Wow. Real quick, let me just do the whole thing by myself. I don't need you. Dallas defense is going to destroy this fucking team. There's nothing exciting to watch on Arizona. There's no rookie quarterback. There's no playmaker you're really excited about. There's no one on defense. That's it. Just let's see if Dak. Let's just another test for Dak and see if he takes care of the ball and how the Cowboys play. Cowboys will win this game handily.
I want to have some faith in Joshua Dobbs, man, but nah.
Yeah, come on. We got to speed it up. Speed it up, bud.
I'm letting the highlights play, man. They're watching Micah Parsons right now with the stunt. But yeah, I'm going with Cowboys too, man. Let's move on to Chicago and KC. Okay, this one is a higher spread. We got to talk about Justin Fields and his comments earlier.
We got to talk about Alan Williams. The DC just resigned today.
Yeah, that's some crazy shit too.
I mean, allegations. Let's just put I'm going to say this about Alan Williams. Let's talk about Justin Fields after. Anytime your DC resigns in the middle of the week during a game week, weird shit's gone down. Doesn't matter. He said the excuse. There's the reports. His house got raided by FBI. Whatever. Not a good sign for Chicago. Their defense already sucked, by the way, in case you guys were wondering. So maybe addition by subtraction. But in the middle of the week, players respond to shit like that. So anything else you'd like to add about the defensive coordinator situation?
Yeah, it's something about his house being raided. And it's something super serious. I don't know. I don't know much information on it, but I completely agree. The defensive coordinator leaving in the middle of the fucking week is going to be an issue. And That's going to be something to look at. But the Chicago fucking defense sucked already. Okay.
Oh yeah, he was going to get fired regardless.
Yeah. So let's talk about Justin Fields. So if you know the exact quote, Max, go ahead and correct me if I'm wrong. But something over under the lines of the coaching could be an issue, and he felt robotic out there, and basically said that, right? Or am I wrong?
I'm just going to pull up his quote. I'm not sure. It was about the screenplay, I remember.
Yeah.
I'm never going to blame anything on my coaches. Never going to blame anything on my teammates. He's saying I will take all the blame. I guess that's what he said today. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he said he's playing robotic, not blaming the coaches. Mm-hmm. Hey, Justin Fields, I don't know if it's coaches telling you trying to dissect the field or what. You got it. The Chicago coaches, whatever. You got to change it up, man. We talked about him a lot before, and I think one of my cons was processing stuff.
Yeah.
No, not to say he's a dumb guy. That doesn't mean you're dumb. Sometimes you don't trust your tight end. Sometimes you're like, DJ Moore's all I got. Matthew Stafford with Calvin Johnson could be guilty of the same sin. It just happens when you're throwing to Calvin Johnson on double coverage, you'll get away with it. But some quarterbacks, you can tell me if I'm wrong, Derek Carr last year with Devontae Adams would always look his way.
No.
Constantly.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's Justin Fields' thing he's doing, but he misses open people. There's no semblance of a short passing game. I haven't really watched the all 22 of them a lot. I'm going to watch it after this game just to see if he has another piss poor game.
Yeah.
But it's hard for me to pick. It's hard for me to think this game will be competitive with the way they've played, than now with the shit surrounding them one. It's going to be a blowout to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
35-10.
I'm picking the Chiefs as well. I'm completely on board. One thing, I don't want to completely defend Justin Fields to the point where nothing is his fault, but I would say this, man. Max, you can attest to this. How frustrating is it when somebody's telling you something and they wind up getting inside your head, they get you off your game, and you're just not playing as freely as you can.
Yeah, no,
it happens all the time. It happens in basketball, and it happens in football, man. And I can only imagine what's going through his head if the coaches are telling him, hey, you know what? You got to stop running out there. Look for this.
He wants you to be a pocket passer.
Yeah, and sometimes, man, you just got to let it fucking loose and let the kid play his game. Because it seemed like last year, him playing freely and playing his game, the kid almost rushed for over 1,000 yards and was making play after play after play. And these last 2 weeks, it does seem like that. Because I can't imagine that Justin Fields is that fucking stupid on plays where he misses all 4 guys. So I can completely understand if the coaches are telling him one thing and he's like, dude, like, I'm looking for this and I'm just overthinking shit. Like, I'm overthinking stuff right now. Let's simplify some things in this offense and let's take the gimmies. Let's get DJ Moore the ball in space. Hey, let's get me in space. Let's try to call some run plays for me. Get me going. Like, simple stuff like that. And I don't know who's the veteran leader in that locker room to say that. Maybe it's DJ Moore. But if anyone else won't say it, it has to be Justin Fields. He needs to say something about it. And he's going the wrong way about it by telling through the media. Because now it gets people like us talking about it and people outside that are just making more noise that's just unnecessary for the team. Straight up.
I mean, I look at the Bears offense and it's nothing special. Like, yeah. I don't trust the O-line play. I don't really trust the receivers outside of DJ Moore. But I will say there was plenty of times where he just patted the shit out of the ball, and I'm like, you just got to go. We talked about it on Sunday. So this will be an interesting week to see how they play. Obviously, they're playing arguably the best team of football. So like I said, it'll be a blowout with all the bullshit happening. Like I said, you got negative comments from the quarterback, defense coordinator getting fired. Unless this team happens to be the 2020 Raiders, it's not happening.
Yeah. All right. Even the 2020 Raiders started off the year 2-0, but that's regardless. Go ahead, throw shade. Speaking of them Raiders,
That wasn't shade, asshole. That was like when Gruden got fired and the Henry Ruggs. Like they're not gonna fight
They
through
ain't
all that
built like
adversity.
us, dog. Ain't no one built like
Yeah,
that team.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
All right, Vegas, Sunday Night Football
Ugh.
taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is gonna be a funny game. I highly doubt this is gonna be a blowout. And if it
No, both
is,
teams aren't
clown
good
it.
enough.
If it is, clown me, go ahead. If it isn't and the Raiders blow them out, which I doubt, hey, fuck it, I'll take it. But this is gonna be an ugly game. I feel like there's gonna be a call in this one that drives people fucking nuts. And I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see it because a lot of the things that the Pittsburgh Steelers like to do and that are good at, the Raiders have an answer for it. I truly feel that way. I know that the Steelers have a really good defensive line in TJ Watt, but the Raiders have given up the least amount of pressures the last 2 weeks in the league. Like their pass blocking has been.
They've really played stout defensive lines too. I might add,
Yeah,
sarcastically.
yeah.
Sarcasm.
But yeah, sarcasm. I know. But it's something to look at, man. It's something to look at, and I feel like Pittsburgh, what's their recipe of winning? We seen it last week. TJ Watt going fucking nuts, bro. What do you think about this
defense scoring points? Well, I think it's going to come down to Jimmy G, and if Pittsburgh can force him to make a mistake, I think Pittsburgh will win the game regardless. If they can turn over Jimmy G and get a couple times on him, they'll blow them out. That's just my take on it. I don't think the Pittsburgh's offense is really going to put up a ton of points. Maybe a Pickens like breaks one off, but they're not going to. I don't think they're going to just pound the ball on you guys like the Eagles could or somebody like that. They're not good enough blocking, and Najee Harris isn't even the best running back on their team at this point.
Yeah, to me, the Steelers are not dynamic enough to really hurt the Raiders. That's my whole thing.
Unless they get some defensive stuff. Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, and that's why I'm picking the Raiders in this one. I think it's a good matchup for them. But the Raiders have penalty issues. The Raiders cannot run the ball right now. Josh Jacobs has been abysmal these last 2 weeks. I don't know what has happened, but I still have faith in Jimmy G and the passing game. Feel like they can put up some points against the Steelers team. I got Raiders 24-21.
I got the Steelers 27-20.
All right. That's going to be an interesting one. I might get on the podcast pretty upset if they lose. That's besides the fact, because you'll be upset on Monday night.
Nah, I'm good.
All right. Monday Night Football, first of the doubleheader, quote unquote doubleheader, if you want to call it that.
Stupid.
Tampa Bay. I guess the NFL knew what they were doing because we got 2 undefeated teams here, baby. Baker Mayfield going up against Jalen Hurts. The undefeated Bucks. What do you think about them so far, man? Because they've looked pretty damn good.
Well, they have a solid defense. I'm just surprised of Baker's ability to take care of the ball. Look, it's going to be 90 there on Monday, which isn't something you want to see. It might be a little rainy. I think that kind of plays into the Eagles' hands, or if you can muck it up and you can just turn it into a pound the ball, be a big person team. I don't think the Eagles are just going to come out there and destroy the Bucks. I think I was kind of thought this could be the shit year. It all falls apart with Todd Bowles. Still might be if Baker just, reverts to his old ways. But I have a hard time thinking the Eagles are just going to destroy the Bucs defense. I think it'll be a close game. Low-scoring affair.
Yeah. It's hard to evaluate the Bucs, man, because you see all the dysfunction with the Bears coming out this week, and
Minnesota's just not doing so hot either.
Exactly. But Mike Evans has something to prove, man. Contract negotiations were going on this offseason. Didn't get what he wanted. Didn't get the contract. And he looks like a fucking spring chicken out there, man. He is running his ass off. He looks fucking 5 years younger, it seems like. And Baker seems to be the perfect guy for this offense, man. He's balling out. He's throwing the fucking ball out there deep. Chris Godwin, Mike Evans is like a match made in heaven, and he's kind of shutting me the fuck up, man, these last 2 weeks because
100%. He's played just fine. Great. terrific, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
He's not been the Baker I or you thought he'd be.
And a lot of people forget. I think me and Max were giving Baker a lot of props the year that he took the Cleveland Browns to the playoffs, and then it wound up happening the
He was
next year.
good.
Yeah, he looks good. He looks like that guy in Cleveland that year that they made the playoffs. And then on the Philadelphia side, let's see if they can get Kenneth Gainwell back. We know they can run the ball. What do you think about AJ Brown, man? It seems like AJ Brown had some drama on the sidelines last week.
I don't think it was much. I don't think it was much. I think Jalen Hurts has favored Devontae Smith, one, because of Christian Gonzalez, two, the Minnesota game, which became run the ball down their throats. I think AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts are good friends. We know that they were like the first people when he got traded there.
Right.
Like he's a dog. Sometimes when dogs aren't doing what they're supposed to do, they get mad. They'll take a little bite at you.
Yeah.
They don't mean it. It's just like, hey, I'm a dog. Like feed the dog. But I don't think it's anything big. You know, we're 2-0. There's nothing that's in AJ Brown's career that made me think he's a selfish asshole, like not an asshole, but he's someone selfish and self-centered, like T.O. would be. Like T.O. wouldn't let shit go.
Yeah. Kind of confirming what I thought was going to happen with this team, though, as far as that dynamic goes. I did think that Devontae Smith was going to take that leap and be the number one guy in Philly. And it's seeming like that.
Leap one. I think it's maybe also, let's make sure we really cover AJ Brown. Like, let's really. We know Jalen Hurts loves this guy. Let's stop him.
Yeah. I just feel like at this point, I think Devontae.
We have a new play caller. Give him some time. He'll figure it out.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay. I got Philly.
I got Philly too. Close game. 17-14.
I do not have a close game. I got 31-19. I think this one could get ugly.
Yeah, it's only like 1.5 possessions, not a close game.
I think
you have this game being closer than the other. You're fucking out.
What do you mean? What do you mean I have this one being closer?
You have the Rams game close.
Yeah, the Rams are better. They're better than the Bucks. You trust the Rams more? You trust the Bucks more than the Rams?
No. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh my God. Who would have thought Pognu versus Jamar Chase? Pognu, whatever his name
is. Look, man, is Joe Burrow healthy or what? Because the film does not say that.
He's not. He's hurt. He's hurt.
Yeah, the film did not look good. I rewatched that Bengals game, and he just doesn't, man. I feel like the playmaking ability of running around and making some more time, that Mahomes kind of magic kind of play style, I don't see it. And I don't know what to think of the Bengals, but it seems like any time that this team's back is against the wall, they usually respond. And it's a perfect time to do it. They're at home against a Rams team that has been a shooting star at this point, better than everyone fucking expected. They got to get right this game. They got to get right. This is a must win. This is a must win for the Bengals.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you 100%. Zach Taylor's never beaten Sean McVay. Look, Bengals season's on the line right now. 0-3, it might be too big of a hole to climb out of, especially Baltimore is going to probably start off 3-0. Look, the Bengals have a lot of guys that they need to kind of get going. Jamar Chase, haven't really heard much from Trey Hendrickson. Obviously, Joe Burrow, he's banged up, but this is a game you need to win. You should win. I'm going with the Bengals 28-17 against the LA Rams.
Yeah. One thing to watch out for this game, I got 24-21. One thing to watch out is this can be a game where the Bengals can do their thing as far as my guy's better than yours. I'm going to dominate you like that. Because the Rams,
Rams really don't have a lot.
They don't, man. They're a well-coached team, but like their corners are not that good. Their defensive talent, besides Aaron Donald, is not that good. Puka Nacua, good story. I think he's gonna keep on succeeding, but I don't think he's enough, man. He's not enough with Stafford. Excited to see Kyren Williams though, your boy.
Yeah, I like him a lot, man.
Yeah,
I'm really excited for him.
They got Cam Akers out of there, so. Hey, more touches for your boy Kyren. All right. Let's go over Soul Pick of the Week, and then we'll let you guys go. All right. Soul Pick of the Week, we're going with the Dallas Cowboys. Look,
it's too
Arizona
easy.
Cardinals.
Too
yeah,
easy.
it was easy for me and Max. We're undefeated. We still got all of our souls this year. We'll see who loses its soul first this week. It can potentially be both of us if the Cowboys fuck us over. And
I think we'll be good. I'm pretty confident in this one, Juan. I'm fairly confident.
All right. Hopefully, I keep on winning in the pick'ems. I'm confident in that. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, comment down below any thoughts, opinions that you guys have about week 3. We will see you guys Monday morning or Tuesday morning, one of the two. Okay, we'll have an episode out for you guys. Until then, we out. Peace.